Frankenstein was completely consumed by anger now. There was no turning back. Mori looked at him and calmly said, "Yes, I'm sure about this. Standing before me is a pure virgin boy. His purity is different from Rihito's. He is masculine." Frankenstein kept throwing punches, but no matter how hard he attacked, he couldn't land even a single hit. Around them, the boys could only stare in complete disbelief. They couldn't believe Frankenstein wasn't even able to touch him. Mori let out a quiet breath. This has been pleasant, but playtime is over. In the next instant, he drove a powerful kick straight into Frankenstein's stomach. The impact sent Frankenstein flying across the ground. "Ouch, that hurts," Frankenstein murmured. "It was a nice encounter," Mori said, "but let's end things here for today. I have to go look for Rihito." "Wait, I haven't finished yet." Frankenstein struggled back to his feet, his voice shaking. "I can't stop until I avenge my boys." Mori shook his head once. "No, we're ending this now. Oh, and one important piece of advice. If you really care about them, then educate them properly. Those boys suddenly surrounded me and grabbed me. All I did was push them back." Frankenstein slowly turned toward the boys. They avoided his eyes, then panicked and ran away. He couldn't believe they had lied to him. "Damn, that made me the bad guy." Mori gave him a small smile. "No, you were splendid just as you are." He turned to leave. "Well, maybe the next time we meet will be the last." "Wait, brother." Mori stopped and looked back. "Huh? Did you just call me brother?" Frankenstein scratched the back of his neck before speaking. "No adult has ever spoken to me the way you did. Brother, I'll follow you until the day I die."
Mori blinked. "Won him over. That means he's mine." His thoughts drifted for a moment. "Maybe I could even take him now. He's only a year or so older than Rihito, maybe 16 or 17. Surely ripe for harvest." He paused. No. Devouring this boy before Rihito would be like eating sour pebble grapes before a bunch of shine muskats. Just then, Rihito walked past and noticed him. "Hey, Mori." Mori immediately looked his way. "Huh? Rihito? Where have you been? I was worried about you." "It doesn't matter." Mori narrowed his eyes. "Hold on, did you just hide something from me? Something naughty?" Before Rihito could react, Mori grabbed his arm and reached him to his pocket. A book slid out. Top Secret Pro Tips for Romantic Victory. Mori held it up. "Have you been reading this book to try and beat me in love?" Why would I?" Mori couldn't help laughing. So this whole time, he was thinking about me. Meanwhile, Rihito could only look away, clearly embarrassed. "I'm flattered you've been thinking about me this much," Mori continued, "but you're completely mistaken. That little girl doesn't mean anything to me." Really? "Let me prove it." Rihito handed him a photo of Aoi. Without hesitating, Mori dropped it onto the ground and started stomping on it. "I have absolutely no problem doing this to the picture of that little girl. I'll smash it to smithereens. Look." "Hey, stop!" Rihito hurried over and grabbed him. "You don't have to do that." Mori looked up. "Do you believe me now?" "Yeah, I get it now." "Then can you root for me?" "I won't." Not. Mori smiled. "Now let's hurry home for dinner." Frankenstein had been watching everything in silence. "Brother, who is this kid?" "Franken, I have a favor."
"What is it?" "If any nasties start buzzing around Rihito, swat them away." Frankenstein stood up straight. "Roger that, loud and clear. I'll do whatever you ask, brother." Rihito looked at him with a puzzled expression. "Mori, who is this guy?" "I'm Frankenstein. Nice to meet you." "I'm Rihito. Nice to meet you too." Before long, all of them headed back to Rihito's house and gathered around the dinner table. Somehow, Frankenstein had joined the family for dinner as if he belonged there. "This bugger is freaking insane," Frankenstein exclaimed while eating. "This food is amazing." Rihito's dad laughed. "Yep, the gal burgers are the best in the world because my wife cooks them with love." Mori frowned. "Franken, why did you invite yourself into our house and start eating our food?" "Don't be so cold, bro. We're family now.
Let's get cozy. Oh, a new brother? Rihito's dad laughed. You're always so popular, Mori. Mori quietly stared at Frankenstein. Maybe I should have sucked him dry earlier after all. Franken suddenly noticed Mori's plate. Brother, your patty isn't cooked? Rihito answered for him. Mori always eats his meat raw. Without saying a word, Mori picked up the raw patty and took a bite. Frankenstein's eyes widened. Bro, your digestive system must be incredible. You're a badass, brother. He looked around the table with a smile. My dad's always late getting home, so I usually eat with my mom and sister. This is the first time I've ever eaten with a bunch of men. It's freaking wild. Rihito smiled. Come over for dinner whenever you want. His dad nodded. You can eat with us every day. Seriously? Frankenstein's face lit up. Watch out, I might actually take you up on that. You better, Rihito's dad laughed. At that moment, Rihito's grandpa.
Who are you? I'm Frankenstein. You can just call me Franken. Grandma folded her hands together. First a vampire, and now a Franken. Perhaps my time has finally come. My dear, we'll be reunited soon. The entire table burst into laughter. Franken looked toward Mori. They call you vampire, bro? Yeah, Mori replied calmly, because I'm 450 years old. Damn, then we're both monster folks. I mean, monster brothers. Mori gave a small smile. You're fortunate to be living in a more peaceful era than the Bakumatsu. Otherwise, I would have drunk your blood long ago. Franken laughed loudly. That's exactly what a vampire would say. You're on it, bro. Mori never misses a beat, Rihito's dad added. Rihito smiled. It's a lot more fun with you here, Franken. I'm glad to be here too, little dude. Mori folded his arms. Am I the only one who's not happy about this? Then he stood up. All right, dinner's over. Please go home now. Goodbye. Frankenstein blinked. I'm not going home tonight. The room fell silent. May I stay here tonight? I've already told my mom. Mori immediately turned toward Rihito's dad. That's going too far. We still have work to do. Right, boss? Instead, his dad smiled. What's the problem? Stay with us. You can even enjoy our bath. Really? Franken couldn't hide his excitement. Thank you, Pops. I've never been to a bathhouse before. All right, Rihito's dad laughed. Let's pop that bathhouse cherry. Go easy on me, Pops. A little later, Rihito's mom placed another patty in front of him. Your patty is ready. Your patties are the best, mother. Thanks, sweetie. Grandpa slowly raised a hand. Wait for me. Today's my last supper. Everyone burst into laughter again. Elsewhere, Aoi spoke to her mother. My brother said he's staying at a friend's house tonight. Her mother looked relieved. That's unusual. He normally doesn't tell us anything and only makes us worry. At least we know he's safe tonight. Aoi quietly nodded. Back at the bathhouse, Franken stretched out in the large tub with a satisfied sigh. There's so much leg room, and the heat goes right to your core. Rihito looked at him in amazement. Your muscles are incredible. I'm impressed. Mori watched the two of them and quietly frowned. I miss having Rihito all to myself. I train every day, Franken said proudly. Muscles make the man, you hear? Just look at these biceps. Mori glanced between them. I suppose I don't mind seeing my two dishes side by side. If Rihito is tender and juicy, then Franken is my springy T-bone steak. Franken looked over at Mori. I didn't expect you to look so frail, bro. How can you be so strong? Mori answered calmly. It's not about building muscles everywhere. Real strength comes from keeping your whole body in balance. After finishing their shower, the three of them headed into Mori's room. Franken's eyes immediately locked onto the computer setup, scanning every corner of it. It's small, but you've got all the shiny new stuff. Mori gave a small nod while sitting back casually. No matter the era, I always go for the latest gadgets. Rihito looked around the room with a relaxed smile, taking in the neat setup and faint, clean scent in the air. Your room is really stylish, Mori, and it smells nice too. Can we all sleep here tonight? Only if you don't mind? Mori glanced at both of them for a moment, then answered without hesitation. How could I say no? But Franken wasn't even thinking about sleep. He suddenly stood up, full of energy. Let's have a pillow fight, or sumo wrestle. Hush, you'll wake up the old man. Franken huffed. You're no fun. Mori tilted his head slightly. Then how about arm wrestling? That immediately caught both of their attention, and they agreed. They started playing around, laughing and competing. Rihito tried his best, but no matter how hard he pushed, he couldn't beat Mori.
Then Franken stepped forward confidently. I've never lost an arm wrestling match before. Brother, let's make this more interesting. Mori looked at him. How? Franken paused, thinking hard. We don't have any special wine cups, and I'm still a minor anyway. After a moment, he snapped his fingers. I've got it. We bite each other's arms and drink each other's blood. Mori stared at him for a second, silent. And if I win? Franken leaned forward slightly. If I win, we officially become brothers. Mori raised an eyebrow. And if I win? Franken thought again. If you win, then you protect Rihito for me, even at school. Rihito immediately cut in. Hang on, Mori, I'm not a kid anymore. Mori didn't even look at him. Yes, you are. Franken nodded firmly. Understood. It's a promise between men. He stretched his arm out. Let's fight man to man. Rihito acted as referee and gave the signal. The match started, and Mori instantly defeated Franken. Ow, ow. Franken yelled out in pain, grabbing his arm. Mori sighed calmly. Relax, you just pulled a muscle. After that, they eventually wore themselves out and fell asleep. Only Mori stayed awake. He sat there quietly, watching them sleep, his gaze shifting between the two. How fortunate I am. His eyes lingered on Franken's build. With that body, that girl will definitely be drawn to him, and then Rihito will finally be mine. A faint pause. Looks like I'm in love.
The next morning, rain was falling steadily. Rihito and Franken stood at the bus stop, ready for school. Franken looked around. Where's brother? He wasn't there when I woke up. Rihito adjusted his posture slightly. Mori's like that. He stays up late, not a morning person. Franken glanced at the rain. I didn't bring an umbrella. Let me use yours. Sure. They started walking together under the umbrella. As they moved through the rainy streets, other students began watching them. It wasn't normal for someone like Franken to casually walk with anyone, so curiosity spread fast. Then a familiar voice called out from the side. Hey, you two lovebirds, sharing an umbrella, huh? What a sweet couple. Don't be shy. It was the same boys who had bullied Rihito before. Franken slowly turned toward them. The boys stiffened immediately. Frankenstein. Franken looked at them calmly. Can't two guys share an umbrella? His voice stayed steady. Are there laws against that? No, one of them answered quickly. Without warning, Franken grabbed an umbrella from one of them and stepped closer. His tone dropped. If any of you lay a finger on Rihito, I'll snap every single finger you've got and shove them up your damn ass. The boys froze in pure fear, then ran. From a distance, Mori watched everything unfold. A faint smile formed. Good job, Franken. Let's see how long you keep protecting him like this. He glanced up at the sky. The UV rays are brutal today. I should head back and sleep. Then his eyes shifted. Huh, that little girl. Oi had appeared nearby. Mori's expression changed slightly. Franken, let's show them who's boss. Oi walked up with a small smile. Hi, Rihito. I was hoping...
Rihito blinked. See me? At the same time, Aoi's thoughts were elsewhere. I still have so many questions about Mr. Vampire. She noticed Franken beside him. Both of them looked at each other. Brother, what are you doing here? Hidden in the distance, Mori froze. He had been expecting Franken to scare her away just like the boys. Instead, everything collapsed in real time. He stumbled slightly. What? Rihito looked back and forth. Brother? Wait, Franken is your brother? You don't look alike at all. Aoi tilted her head. Is this the friend whose house you stayed at last night? Franken smiled. Whoa, you're friends with him too? That's a surprise. Aoi's eyes widened slightly. So you stayed over at the koi bathhouse? Rihito quickly nodded. Yeah, you should come next time too, Aoi. Can I? She lit up instantly. Franken chuckled. You two make a good couple. Just get along already. From a distance, Mori stood completely still. This is not going how I planned. Franken turned toward Rihito again, grinning. We'll really be brothers if you marry Aoi. Aoi immediately shouted. Stop it already. Frankenstein suddenly grabbed Aoi's umbrella. Give me your umbrella. Before anyone could react, he pointed it between Aoi and Rihito like a divider. You two get along under this one. Call it brotherly instinct. Then, without waiting for a response, he started walking toward school like nothing had happened. Over his shoulder, he called out again. And Aoi, stick close to Rihito. Keep any nasty girls away from him. I took a brotherly vow to keep him safe. Rihito hesitated, then quietly offered his own umbrella to Aoi instead,
trying to balance the situation. Here, take mine. Meanwhile, far behind them, Mori stood alone in the rain. His shoulders dropped slightly. It's over. He stared at the sky as water ran down his face. This is the end.
He stayed there for a moment, completely still, while Rihito and Aoi continued walking together towards school under the umbrellas. As they walked, Aoi finally spoke, her voice careful. "Can I ask you a strange question?" "Sure, ask anything." Rihito replied without hesitation. She looked around first, making sure no one was listening. Then she lowered her voice. "Mori, he's really a vampire, isn't he?" Rihito paused for a second. He thought she was just trying to break the awkwardness, so he answered casually. "Yeah, he's a 450-year-old vampire." Aoi froze. Her eyes widened slightly. So it's true. Rihito knows this and he's completely fine with it? What kind of situation is this? Does he just read comics where strange people move in and live like roommates? She slowly came back to herself and leaned in again. "Don't you have to keep that a secret?" "The whole family knows." "Really?" "It comes up all the time at home." "A topic?" Rihito nodded like it was normal. "Yeah, he used to be Amakusa Shiro. Back in the Bakumatsu era, he was with the Shinsengumi. And he even spent time with Sakamoto Ryoma. He's killed people, drank with Taisho literary figures, stuff like that." Aoi listened in stunned silence. This is unbelievable. Then her eyes lit up slightly. How amazing. She hesitated for a second. "By the way, has Mori ever mentioned me?" Rihito shook his head. "Not really." Aoi's expression softened a little, disappointment slipping in. "He hasn't said anything. But he came to visit me before without telling Rihito. And the other day he pulled me close." Her thoughts drifted. "He definitely has feelings for me. I just can't bring myself to ask him directly." Meanwhile, Mori was still walking alone through the rain. Each step felt heavier than the last. "This is the worst day of my life." Water dripped from his hair as he slowly made his way home. Then he stopped. A figure appeared right in front of him. "Hey, you're Mori, right?" Mori froze. His eyes lifted slightly. The person didn't hesitate, and a gun slid out from his pocket and pointed directly at him. The rain kept falling. To be continued. If you enjoyed this episode, please like, share, and subscribe for more. Follow for the next part of the story to see